Hey there, everybody. I'm joining this game in progress. In the top of the seventh inning, it's Jay Tibbs versus Dwight Gooden. And the Mets are now batting in the top of the seventh. It's 2-0 1984 Mets. This is Combat Painter and his tabletop winter baseball channel. And Huey Brooks steps in the box. So what we have going on here is a pretty good ball game. And I have to go back on this chart, and I'm showing you how to use iScore, which is what I use, and make corrections. So I have the scorecard here for the Mets. Now we're in a no-hitter, but it says hit number one there. But what's fascinating is that I am keeping a old school scorecard by hand on the side, and there are no hits. So we have to look back, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make a correction. So when something like that comes up where you want to go back in the game and make a correction of some kind, you can do that. But let's play through this inning. It's Jay Tibbs pitching against Huey Brooks. Let's get started. I will be rolling now. I realize I'm going to try to get the roll into the camera without losing the cards. So I'm going to try to do that. So let's try to see how much of the roll I can get into the picture here. All right, so it's going to be a 110, and that's going to be off Huey Brooks. Now Jay Tibbs is a righty, and Huey Brooks lines a single to center field. So Brooks is on with a single. And in play, single. So there you got Huey Brooks at first base. Nice and simple. So this will keep the stats for me. And I do the old school book just because I like the way it looks, and I don't know, the nostalgia. All right, so it's going to be Mike Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald is he's a B bunter, so he's going to bunt. I rolled a 3. So we look in the chart. Now I know this is it should be it should be a successful bunt. It may be a hit. Here's a B bunter. We roll a 3. Batter beats out the bunt. So there you go. So that's going to be a single. So now you have, and the runner advances to second. So you have Huey Brooks and Mike Fitzgerald first and second. And now next we're going to have Rafael Santana, the shortstop for the Mets. Rafael today is a singled and he grounded out. He's 1 for 2. And so we got a 6-10. That's going to be off Tibbs. A 6-10, and that's going to be a ground ball hit at the third baseman, Nick Isaski. And Nick Isaski, and that's got an X next to it, so we're going to have to look at, he's a 3. I'm going to roll, there we go, it's a 12. I'm going to check the chart. A 3 and a 12, that's not here, so we're going to have to look at Isaski's error rating. It's E23. So we're going to roll a 2-sided die, and that's a 10. So on E23, a 10, and you can see that here. E23, a 10 is going to be a ground ball to. It's going to be a ground ball that he goes to second and back to first for a double play. Now, why exactly Santana was not bunting is beyond me. He probably missed the sign. So he hits into a double play, ground out, 6-4-3 double play, and his coach pulls him over and mentions it to him, and then he's just has his head down and kind of walks. So here's the way you run this. So basically he hit into a double. Let me back up and show you how to do this. So basically Santana should have been bunting. He missed the sign. So it's going to be an out. And it's going to be a ground out, right? And then it's going to be a 5-4-3 ground out, done. And then you're going to advance, so the runner on second advanced to third, but then the one that was on first, and it asks you what happened to the runner that was on first base. Well, he's out, so you hit out and you hit double play. and that there's 2 outs now with Huey Brooks is on third. So that was a missed opportunity for the Mets. And next, it's the basic card for Doc Gooden. He's up and he's going to stay in the game and he's going to pitch. He's up. He's pitching a no-hitter. Even though it says one hit up on the screen, you can't really see it, but it gives me the box, and I'll show that to you right now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how we can prove or find the error, because I have a scorecard by hand on the right, and he is pitching a no-hitter right now. But there, you can see the score there, and it says 7 hits. The line score 2, 7, and 0, and 0, 1, and 0. We're going to find out exactly where that mistake happened. Remember, I'm doing 2 things simultaneously, so I have to constantly double check everything I'm doing. So it's going to be a 2-6. I rolled a 2-6 here on the side. Let me see if I can. There you go. You can see it now. 2-6. That's going to be off of Gooden's card. A 2-6 is going to be a swing and a miss, and Gooden down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. So let's do all that here. So that was. Now I'm doing it on the side. Santana screwed up and he hit into a double play, missed the sign. That was 2 outs, and then Gooden struck out. That's a 3 out, and that was Jay Tibbs' 6th strikeout of the game. Okay, so now we're going to pull the Mets off, replace them. Dave Parker's leading off the bottom of the 7th, and Doc Gooden, 1984 Doc Gooden. He was 17-9 with a 2.60 ERA. He is pitching a no-hitter. Now let's go back. Let's look at the screen here. I'm going to set up this camera a little bit closer to look at this screen and see where we can. You know what? I had to do that prior to this, and I don't know how to go back to get the other team on here if they're not batting. Okay, yeah. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Let me. Hold on a second. Let me see if I do this. Let me see where the hit happened. Let me go back and run through home, away. It doesn't talk about the hits. Game starts. WRODD. DW would be Donnie Walker. Okay. So it's a walk. In the first inning, Gooden walked 2 batters. In the second inning, it was a K, a ground out, and a K. Let's see the 3rd inning, what happens here. The 3rd inning, it's a ground to first, a fly out to center, and then a K. In the 4th inning, it's a ground to first, a K, and a ground to third. Wait a second. DC in the, here it is, just found it. That was a walk. It was a walk and a stolen base. And I have it very clearly written in my scorebook, a walk and a stolen base. So that's a mistake there. So I must have written a single when he actually walked. So we're going to go in and we're going to correct that. So how do you correct that? Let me show you how to correct that. Let me stop this. There we go. Okay, so the way you do that is you go to the bottom and you go exit. You're going to exit, and I'm going to go edit game, right? And then I'm going to find the issue, which was in the bottom of the 5th. It was Concepcion batting. So I go to the top. On the top it has the different innings. I go to the 5th, and I'm going to find Dwight Gooden versus Concepcion right there. So I have Dave Concepcion hits a medium line drive to line drive for a single. So Dave, medium line drive for a single. We're going to edit that, and it's going to be a base on balls. See? There you go. So now we should be good. So it should say Concepcion is walked. Concepcion steals second. There you go. So let's see if that gets corrected, and boom, it's corrected. So we're going to go back. We're going to score the game, and it's going to be Dave Parker batting. Now, after all this, I took a lot of steps here to broadcast this no-hitter, this ongoing potential no-hitter here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the first thing that happens is Dave Parker, launches one into the center field bleachers. And that's usually how it works, right? Okay, so we are in the bottom of the seventh, and it's Dave Parker against Dwight Gooden. It's 2-0 Mets, and Gooden has a no-hitter. Okay, that's a 1-4, so it's going to be off Parker's card. Let's see what happens there. You can probably see it now. It's going to be a 1-4, and that's a fly ball lifted to center field, and Wilson gets under it. Fly ball, center field. And I'm going to do the same thing, write that in on the side as well. Okay, so Dave Parker is out on a fly to center. Next is going to be Cesar Cedeno. And that's going to be a 1-7 again, 1-7. Potential for a hit off Cedeno's card, a 1-7, and that's going to be a split die double single, and it's over. The no-hitter is over a 10, so that's a double into the gap for Cedeno, breaking up Gooden's no-hitter. And just like that, it's over after all the preparation. Now, Dave Concepcion, the batter, and it's going to be a 3-7 off Concepcion, 3-7 against a righty, and that's a strikeout. And that's Gooden's sixth strikeout of the game. 2 outs. Out K. And now it's going to be Nick Asaski. And it's a 1-3 off Asaski's card, and that's a fly ball lifted to center. Mookie Wilson pounds the glove, makes the catch. And that's all she wrote, but the no-hitter is history. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. Pretty good game, 2-0 Mets. And it's going to be Jay Tibbs, still in the game. And we're going to bring in, we're going to replace the Met team. Wally Bachman against Jay Tibbs. Here's the pitch. Bachman batting from the left side. It's going to be 5-12. 5-12 is a strikeout. So Bachman strikes out. That's number 7 for Tibbs. Next is going to be Mookie Wilson. Wilson, you can read here, is a ground out, single, and a fly out. He's 1 for 3. It's going to be a 1-7. A 1-7. It's going to be a line drive, split die, and it's caught by the second baseman. So it's a line drive caught by Oster at second. L4 out number 2 here in the top of the 8th. Keith Hernandez, he's 1 for 3. And that's going to be a 1-6 off Hernandez's card. A 1-6 is a deep drive, double home run split. Let's see if I can get this in view. And that's a 4, and he needed a 1 and 2 for the home run. So that's going to be a double in the gap. So Hernandez splits the outfielders for a double. So 2-out double for Keith. Stratomatic Hernandez mentions it almost on every other broadcast when you watch the Met games. Darryl Strawberry, batting from the left side, power hitter for the Mets. And so let's write that in. A double for Hernandez. He's at second. You can see him at second now. There's 2 outs. And here's the pitch from Jay Tibbs. We roll and say 1-3 again. So that's going to be we're going to read it off Darryl's card 1-3. And that's a comebacker right to Tibbs. He takes a few steps towards first and flips it for out number 3. Ground out 1, 3. And that's all she wrote for the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning now. Gooden is still on the mound. He's pitching a one-hitter. He's going to face Gooden, probably a pinch hitter for Jay Tibbs, and then Donnie Walker. Now, Donnie Walker had to kind of invent a card for him. I did not have a card for him. Thanks to Joe F for these cards. He loaned them out to me so I could play this Gooden Replay 84. And the Brad Gooden, he's the catcher. He is 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the pitch. It's 4-9 off of Gooden's card, and he's a lefty, so 4-9, it's a strikeout. So Gooden strikes out. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Tibbs now. I'm going to grab, let's see where they are. Got a huge table, but everything is falling off of it. All right, got the Expos. I don't want those guys. Let's see. Let's see what we got there. Okay, let's see. Is this it here? No, this is not it. Can't find the reds. Oh, there they are. Okay, I see what happened. Some cards rolled off the table and onto the top of the reds, so it said Montreal, but it's actually the Reds. And we're going to bring in, you know what? We're going to have some fun and bring in Pete Rose to pinch hit. The Pete Rose is going to pinch hit. There's his card. And we're going to put, how do you do that now? Well, you hit on the batter, Jay Tibbs. And then you're going to, Rose may have to be added. I don't have him here, so I'm going to put add sub. I'm going to write in Pete Rose and add him. And now he's at the bottom, so I'm going to highlight him. Do you want to make him a defensive substitution? No. There you go. So Pete Rose is the batter. And here's the pitch. It's 1-6. And it's going to be off Rose's card. 1-6 is going to be a line drive base hit to right field. So actually, Rose, I should have put him in as a switch hitter. So I'm going to go back and fix that. Rose, click on his name, put him down as a bats both. And then he's going to hit a single to left. To right. Single to right. He pulls a ball. Line drive to right, and Darryl Strawberry fields it. Okay. So he comes in as a pinch hitter and gets a hit. Donnie Walker, the batter now. And with one out, Donnie Walker, left-handed batter against Gooden. Rose, pinch hitter, A, single. And then we're going to go Walker now. Here's the pitch to Walker. It's a 6 off of Gooden's card, a 6 off of 6. 6-6 is going to be 1-2 single, otherwise it's a line drive to short, and it's a line drive to shortstop. Line drive to 6, done. L6 on my manual scorecard. Out number 2, and the batter, the runner holds up. I'm going to go back and I want to change. You know what? Let me just go in here. I want to change something on Walker's card. Make him a lefty batter. Save. And it's Ron Oster, the batter now. Ron Oster is 0 for 2 in a walk. Here's the pitch from Gooden. And can you see that? Yes, 4-11. So again, it's off of Gooden's card. Oster's a switch hitter, so he's batting lefty. 4-11. It's a fly ball center field X. Center field of Wilson, a 2. We rolled an 18. That should be an out. And I always double check. Should be an out. And it is. Fly ball center field. So this is we go to the top of the 9th now. That's all she wrote for the bottom of the 8th. And the Reds lead 1, score none. We move to the top of the 9th inning. The Mets coming to bat. It's going to be George Foster leading off. George Foster leading off against new pitcher now for Cincinnati. Relief pitcher. We're going to bring in relief pitcher Jeff Russell. Jeff Russell, and I'll show you how to do that. So click on Tibbs, and we're going to have to add sub because he's not on here. Jeff. I put him down with 2 S's and 2 L's, and I'm correct. And he is a righty pitcher. So George Foster is going to face Jeff Russell here in the top of the 9th. Gooden's pitching a 1-hitter. Had a no-hitter into the 7th. A double by it was a double by Cesar Cedeno. I broke that up. All right, here's the pitch from Russell to Foster. And it's going to be a 3-7, so that's off Foster. A 3-7. It's a strikeout, so Foster down on strikes. Okay, next is going to be Huey Brooks. Let's fix that situation. Huey Brooks. Here's the pitch to Brooks. It's 6-8. It's going to be off Russell's card, and 8 is a line drive base hit right field. So Brooks goes the other way. Singles to right. Next is Mike Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is 1 for 3. And it's a 3-6, so that's going to be off Fitzgerald card. A 3-6 is a hard hit ground ball right at Concepcion. Flips to Oster, back to Dreesen. 6-4-3 double play. So you click out. You hit ground out. 6-4-3 double play. And out on the double play. Boom. So Brooks singled, and then it was a 6-4-3 double play for out number 3. So at the bottom of the 9th, Dwight Gooden's pitching a 1-hitter. A 1-hitter for Dwight. Showing you how to run the iScore as well as I'm doing this. Going to bring in batting is going to be Dan Dreesen. I'm seeing that Dan Dreesen is the batter. There you go. Dan Dreesen. There. All right, here's the pitch from Gooden. And it's going to be a 1-7. So that's off of Dreesen's card. A 1-7 is a split die. 1-10 single, otherwise it's a line out. Let's roll, see what happens. And that's a 4, so that's a line drive base hit. Second hit allowed by Gooden in this game. So next is going to be Dave Parker. It's a 2-0 game, so if Parker connects, he's got good power, the game will be tied. Here's the pitch to Dave Parker, 2-6. again off Parker's card, and that's a ball that swung and hit deep into the gap. It's a split die, 1-3. It's going to fall for a double, but no, it's cut off quickly by Wilson, and they get it in, but it's first and third now. So it's a back-to-back singles, and Parker's on at first, Dreesen's on at third. The Mets lead at 2-0 here in the bottom of the ninth, excuse me, and all of a sudden, after taking a no-hitter into the seventh inning, Gooden is allowed 4 hits. So, Cesar Cedeno, this may be Gooden's last batter. There is action in the Mets bullpen for sure. Here's the pitch to Cedeno. Let's take a look at Parker's stealing ability. He's a C. It's a 110 again off Cedeno, a 110, and that's a line drive right field base hit, and that's going to score Dreesen. Now we may send Parker to third. He's a 1-15. Darrell's arm is a -1, so that would make it 14. And there's nobody out, so I don't know if we want to make that third out at the first out at third base. So we're gonna play it. So a 75% chance. So let's make this a single to right. You don't do that. One runner goes home, and then we have to decide what we're gonna do. Let's send Parker to third, and on the throw, Cedeno is a 1-14 running. You know what? We are better off bunting both of them over, and then we'll definitely have somebody to third. The odds are much greater that we have somebody to third than if we. So it's probably better than 75% to bunt them over. So we're gonna hold them up. Let's play it safe. It's 2-1. There's nobody out. Let's play it safe. So Cedeno's on at first. Parker's at second. There's nobody out. Dave Concepcion is the batter. 3 consecutive hits, and it looks like the Mets are going to pull Gooden. The Mets are going to pull Gooden, and they are going to bring in Doug Sisk. Doug Sisk is coming in for the Mets. Show you how to do that. Click, press on Gooden. Sisk I have here somewhere. Sisk. Do you want him to come in? Yes, as a sub. And then save. Okay, so Concepcion's the batter. Sisk is the pitcher. And we're going to get a bunt. And that's a 9. I'll show you. You can see it here on the side. I rolled a 9. Concepcion is a B bunter. A 9. His batter is thrown out by third baseman. 5 runners advance 1 base, so it's 5-4, and I'll show you how to do that. Out, sacrifice bunt, 5-4. Both runners advance. So you got 1 out now. Tying run is at third. Cesar Cedeno, the go-ahead run, the winning run is at second, and Nick Saski is the batter now. Let me take a sip of. This broadcast is brought to you by Corona Light. And going to roll for Sisk. Saski's a right-handed batter, and that's a 3-7, so it's off of Saski's card. A 3-7. That's a strikeout. Swing and a miss. Saski goes down swinging. Big, huge strikeout by Doug Sisk. And Gooden is the batter now, the catcher. Gooden. Now Orozco, a lefty, is the closer for the Mets. And let me see if we have a righty that's of any value here on the. Yeah, there's no. Really, they don't have much of a bench. I don't have many cards, so don't have much going on here in terms of pinch hitters. For the Reds in 1984, got 209. I've got a 254. Eddie Milner, Eric Davis, Nobody that can really hit very much. So we're gonna just we're gonna bring in Orozco for the Mets. Jesse Orozco. 2 outs now. So Orozco's gonna come in. This is how you do it. Click on the relief pitcher. Look for Orozco. On the next screen, there he is. And then yes, and then you hit save. Boom. It asked me if you want him to be replaced in the batting order in 9th place, and I said yes. So that's what I didn't read out because I know what that says. Okay, so Brad Golden. Now Brad Golden, he batted .226, 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 4 home runs. And he is the pitch. And it's going to be a 4-6, 4-6. Let's show you that. That's going to be off Orozco's card, lefty off a lefty. 4-6 is a fly ball, deep to right field. Strawberry a few steps back, and he's got it in his sights, and that's the ball game. Fly ball, right field. Game over. All right, guys, and then you hit exit. Confirm exit. Yes, it's got all the stats. And Gooden gets the victory. Let me show you how you finish that off. Go to pitchers. Gooden gets the victory. The loss goes to Tibbs. Save goes to Orozco. And the hold goes to Sisk. Boom. It's all done. And then you email yourself the box score. You can have that as well. And I did that. Now you can also see what they did at the end. I want to bring that in because I want to pass it over to my manual scorecard. So I'm going to go look for the Reds at the end. And right here, it was a single, single, single. Dreesen singles, Parker singles, Cedeno singles. It was first and third, and then there was a bunt by Concepcion, so it was second and third, 1 out. Huge strikeout by Asaski, you can see that right there. And then Orozco came in and got Golden to fly out to right field. End of the game, out number 3. Mets win it by a score of 2-1. Outstanding game, and that's all she wrote. I showed you a little bit how to do the scorecard, the ice score. And now let me show you how you can pull up the stats, right? I want to show you some of the stats. Easy to pull up. You go back, you back out of this. This is basically the startup, the desktop, if you will, of iScore. You go to Team Manager. You look for the team that you want to see stats for, the Mets. Now, I'm sure there are other ways to do this. This is how I do it, Team Stats. And there it is. So I'm going to go to pitching because that's where I'm doing a replay of Dwight Gooden. Now, Dwight Gooden is 9-4. He's pitched in 15 games. He's got 2 no decisions. His ERA is 1.97. Okay. And this is where you can see everything he's done. He's pitched 118 innings. He's got 145 strikeouts in 118 innings. 46 walks. Hit batsman, blah, blah, Ks. Balls, hit batters faced, runs against, ERA 26. Don't see where he's where it says the hits he's allowed. I don't see where it says that. So I guess I gotta. I don't know. I may not have checked that for some reason. I gotta take a look. But I don't see I don't see where it says how many hits he's allowed. It says batters faced. Ball. Strikes. Don't know what that means. I just don't see the hits. ERA of 197. Oh, there it is. 82 hits. He's allowed 82 hits in 118 innings. I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, all right, guys. Take care now.